not working out for them, and this is where they've ended up in 9th place. Teams like Stellar have overtaken them, and you got to say on Stellar's side, Sigsy, this guy as an individual player was bringing the A game, because what he did when he brought the pain, the rest of the team seemed to step up around him, right? It was like he spurred them all on. He was the warrior up the front, shouting and screaming, rallying them all together.
He was the Braveheart Lord, the Erangel of his team, and now we do see game number 1 of the day. 4 games to be played today, and we will know which 8 of these 16 teams will be making it into the finals next week. Of course, games that you do not want to miss out on as well. And also interesting, yesterday we had 2 military games. I wonder how things are going to pan out today. This lobby has seen a little more variation in circles, I would say, than Group A has. But even with that, I don't think anyone really wants a military game.
Yeah, we saw it down in military games previously. It looked a little bit rough. There is no one in military right now. Other than Not Fair, they've gone over to Nova. So if they want to, they can kind of clean up, go across to the west and cross that bridge if they so need to. Tornado going for the usual spots as well. 3D Max and Secord splitting up Georgia Pole. It looks like Riddler are going to go all the way back up to Saverni, as they generally do decide to do. Zoka and Nam got Pochinki all close by. And Game of Legion going to be down at Ferry Pier, which means they won't have to rotate or meet them at Potato Hill like you mentioned earlier.
And it's actually kind of interesting because Northern Lights, the team that we normally see in military, they have gone military every game they have had to play into. And are you actually kidding me?
You guys will see it real soon, but that circle pop is interesting.
Okay.
We won't give it away just yet.
No, I'm just saying, Game of Legion, they've gone military every single game the plane has allowed for them. This time, I mean the Northern Lights. This time around, they had the plane, but they didn't go. And I think they might just think to themselves that that was a bad decision.
And also, they've jumped into a Georgia Pole, right? So this is why we're laughing. So it's gone military once again down to the south. Northern Lights are now up in South Georgia Pole, but they're fighting this with 3D Max. They've also got Secord close by, Fenerbahce. This rotation for them means, okay, if they leave before 3D Max, that means they still have to fight Fenerbahce, 7, Inside Games, and Game of Legion. And Game of Legion are already making their way across the military base. If they've seen that no one's dropped there, why not go and grab yourself some extra loot there, get a good footing and where you want to actually position yourself?
It's just interesting to me because Northern Lights, they have landed military pretty much every single game with a few exceptions. And they've never been contested there. They've never been gate-kept on the bridge. What makes them want to go North George now, or South George now, instead of just sticking to the military? I mean, of course, they don't know that the circle is going to go there, but still, I mean, it's a little surprising to me.
I think what it comes down to, right, is some of these teams, and it's maybe not so much inexperience, but just like trying to play the system a little bit and thinking, okay, we're close, we're on the edge, we need to make sure we hold ourselves in here. How do we swap things up and go in for getting a few extra points in here? And it is a risk versus reward, and this time it's not worked out for them. But they wouldn't do it for no reason. There's going to be a game plan behind it, right? And their game plan is probably thinking, okay, how do we get these additional points? So if they start fighting early, then maybe I'll start to understand it. But if it doesn't work out for them, they get picked apart, then you'll probably see them go back to military anyway.
Well, on this final day, and final day is the last day, you'll have a chance to start changing things up. They are just on the brink, sitting in between that 8th to 9th place. Well, I guess I could say 6th to 10th place, because I don't know their exact position, but they're really, really close nonetheless. And now they will have to make their way alongside everyone else in the lobby down towards Sosnovka Island. But how are they planning on doing it? There are some boats out on the western side, but as we talked about yesterday as well with all these military circles, there are only so many of them. You don't have those random spawns. They're only the hard spawns, and everyone knows where they are.
Now, once again, this is worked out for Tornado, who are on your screen, right? They're going to loot into military and then come down. Already, though, Not Fair are making their way into military. So both Game of Legion and Not Fair are like, okay, we saw Northern Lights. They've let us have military. So let's have a little bit of a good poke around here and feel ourselves out in a nice position and say, this is where we're going to camp for now. We can hold on here. We've got the loot we wanted, and there's additional loot if we want to find it.
Exactly. No reason for them not to go early and take themselves a good position. Game of Legion, obviously, practically being a military team with the Ferry Pier split that they're doing, having very easy access to the other side. But for all these other teams now, there's so many Western teams, it's going to be interesting to see how they will sort of, find these vehicles. And now, Saxe might just want to do that 180 and pick up his teammate because, at least he didn't need the vehicle for that long anyway. So
now, one thing you've got to look at, right, is Game of Legion's setup is ready for this bridge push. We've got 2 players in Hamster and Bjorn who are sat closest to military base, but Mac and Dark and Timber, they've basically got like a little split across the road ready to do some damage when it comes down to it. So they could just be waiting to see, and they're obviously scoping out the water as well to see where everyone's coming from. So this is good information for them to have.
not in positions where they can shoot up towards the bridge, but they're in a position where they'll for sure hear the vehicles drive across, and they will also be able to spot boats coming over. So they'll have a good indication of where teams are coming in. Treo, you see going down there, and that's the thing. There are only 2 boat spawns between the bridges, and these guys both fighting for them. It's going to cost some lives. And same thing for OK Bro, probably thinking right now, had I just been on that island from the beginning, I would not have been down now.
And I said about the teams that Northern Lights would have to face. If they left early, they ignore 3D Max and C Corp, but they run straight into Fenerbahce.
Yep.
And now they're running into a couple of additional kills, but it's not working out in their favor. And now Perfectix and the Deep have got a tough choice on their hands on how they want to play this.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. They are sure beat to the race as far as boats go down towards Ferry Pier. There are already 4.5 teams down there. You see Nam now making their way down towards the bridge, as well as we see Tornado Energy making their way on over. Not fair. They left Novo, so there's going to be absolutely no contesting on the eastern side of things. But over here in the west, things are only getting more and more cramped.
Yeah, this western side, no one is going for the long rotation, really, other than Personal Courage at the moment. Everyone else has ganged up on it. 3D Max are even making their way down. Seacork and Riddle are yet to move, and the same goes for Oshtec Warriors over there. So people need to really get a move on soon.
We have Sunday sitting in Ferry Pier from Inside Games. His entire team is in Lipovka. I can respect a good split, but this seems like someone fat-fingered F or just didn't really manage to land with his teammates, because he's very far away from them.
Is he planning to just be the ninja and third-party
he's taking
teams
a boat.
fighting?
He's just taking a boat.
Oh,
Like, guys,
wow.
I'll hold this boat for you, so when you come down to me, we can sail over together. Because obviously nobody's going to be shooting at him. No, he's crossing already. I was trying to make a bad joke. Didn't work. This one, though, 3D Max, they kept Fenerbahce off. I mean, they were the team that came over years later than they were supposed to and won that military game down by the observatory with 14 kills 2 days ago. And it seems like they're trying to do the same kind of strategy this time around on Fenerbahce. They have said, you know what, we're getting over early. We do not want to be kept like that again.
I got to say, though, the whole thing with Sunday getting that boat is actually huge, because it's denied a team getting a boat themselves, and he can go and pick up the rest of his teammates and help them out a little bit as well if needed from any side of the map.
Yeah, I think they do have boats on the Pupka, though. Seems like they're getting themselves into some right now. So it shouldn't be the biggest issue. Issue for him is going to be that pretty much no matter where he goes, he's going to be in a 1v4. Because when it comes to military games, pretty much every team likes to rotate as a 4-man unit.
Who did we see yesterday deny the boat plays as well? They took a boat each.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was Kebabs. They were in Primorsk. They took they took all the boats around Primorsk. So like, nope, you guys ain't getting nothing. And that made it really hard for both the Vinconas and Reciprocity as they tried to come down and take some boats down there too. Well, I mean, you might as well, right? If you have them available and you go there early enough, might as well do it. Not only is it going to help you, and it's just going to make it that much harder for your opponents as well. 3D Max sticking to the same schedule they did 2 days ago, far out in the blue. They'll be coming in late, might not get in on the early action, but they will be 4 guys up and alive once things get important when we get to the final circles.
And that's where we saw them get that 24-point win, because it was 14 kills and a dream for 3D Max, who had not had good games like that previously, right? They'd sometimes been up in there, but they were consistently losing one player early on.
Quick notice, 3D Max has 2 wins, both on Military Island. They had that one game over there, and then they had the other game where they almost got eliminated early, but Phantom, he solo won it because the Deep helped him out against Gamer Legion. So just a fun little trivia. They have 2 wins in this tournament so far, 3D Max, and both of them has been on military, on either side as well, each side. So, well, let's see. Maybe they can make it 3 for 3.
Clearly a spot they like, as Fenerbahce, a team that we did speak highly of, but they haven't really been able to get it together on many occasions here. As the circle goes in closer towards the center of military base, Tornado won't have to move just yet, and they can still hold this bridge for anyone that might be crossing now. They've got 2 players on the bridge, 2 players inside military, so they're making sure they've got the compounds they want if needed. Not too hard for them either, because this whole eastern side has just been left under their control. Yeah,
they'll have plenty of room to roam over there. Now, we do see Stella making their way and 7 making that run on up here as well. And that's the issue, right? When you have these circles that start shifting out east again, look at all the damage being done. Song right there taking out Soggy. But when we have these circles that start shifting back east, for these guys that came over with boats, they don't have vehicles that run, it's going to be in the open at some point. And more often than not, you'll see teams trying to lurk around there, getting themselves some kills. And that's exactly what's happening right here. Kalimdor has them caught down behind a tree each. Poolin trying to get over to his knock teammates. Should be able to make it over there. But we'll have to wait and see if he can get back up on the rest.
3D Max, they've now made it at least within where the circle is. They're not taking damage at the moment, but they're still taking their time to go all the way round. Question is, if they keep this kind of course that they're going for, they would potentially meet inside games who are also going for a similar style, just coming from the eastern side. So there's a lot of space here to play with still, but there could be some fights going down very soon. It's the bridge areas that are going to be the most interesting to look at very soon, as Riddle are still just about to come on and find their way over, and they've got to deal with 3 of the Northern Light players that remain.
Yeah, at this point, all the bridge areas are taken. So Namda is sitting on the other side waiting. Furax trying to do some damage towards Riddle as they come in handy, bro. Goes down immediately. Clip trying to see if he can get out of there alive for now. Able to do so. Sunsea needs to land some more shots, not able to connect them. Simpson goes down now as well, and that's one more team holding them off, and they're now realizing they're trying to go for this bridge, even though it was somewhat late. It is not the wisest suggestion, and they're taking a lot of casualties and trying it.
Every single time Riddle have to go from Severny and move down south, they always end up in a rough spot.
Yeah.
They struggle with the rotation. They don't have a direct understanding of how they want to play it themselves. They always struggle to get the boats. I think maybe they just spend too long up there because they are always one of the last teams to rotate.
I actually kind of like what Sunday is doing here. Obviously, he cannot go out and sort of contest anything by his lonesome, but at the same time he's put himself in a position where he can scout up towards land to make sure no one's holding them off once they do come in with boats. I do hope though that he spots 3D Max 4 guys in that boat right there, because that's going to be important info coming in for his teammates.
Yeah, he's keeping a look around. It will ensure that he can get the backup he needs and be aware of where 3D Max are going to head to next. Zonk's going to be picked apart after he's just been brought back up.
Didn't I just rest you?
Yeah, Shaxy's like, come on, can you just hide a little bit here? Now, Shaxy's taking some further damage, though. 7, they're always hungry for the kills. They always want to go in for it. This could be some nice pickups for the other Fenerbahce players that are only just coming in to help him out. The BSD's coming down on a vehicle, but is it be a little bit too late here because 7 are starting to move on their position?
One of the issues also being they're using a lot of utility really early on in the game, and that can come to cost them in the later stages if the circle does shift out in the open. BSD now in a position where he can start doing some damage, but as you see, Shaxi and Zonk, they're now within an 8 distance. Rancario has 3 of them, and they need to get the hell away from there at some point real soon. BSD tries to come up with a vehicle now and pick them up. That's a bit of a YOLO play. 4 guys in a vehicle. Zonk gets shut out. BSD gets a turn around, and at least for now, they're able to stay put, but that was a very, very, very dangerous play that almost just cost them 3 players.
Yeah, he was kind of risking it on a massive level there, more so than what you normally see. Okay, they only lost 1 player, but Kalimdor was also in a house, couldn't help them at all. He's just on the edge of military base, so it really was a difficult position to move from. Fair play for getting it done, but you've got to be oh so careful because you know 7 are going to be hunting you down still.
The Ozcheck, they're making their way over on the eastern side. 6 is trying to sit and hold them off. Wants some damage done. Revealed his position now to Outlaw, but there's still 3 more players to cross, and what are they going to do here? Info, of course, has come in that there's a guy waiting for them. Arsenal, they're not scared. He's going to do the exact same run. And fortunately for him, he makes it work. Deep, though, still on the wrong side of the water. Has to figure how the hell do we cross this one.
More players coming out towards him. 6, he's got to be able to start getting this done now. He's missed a fair amount of shots. Now he's going to come onto Dictators, trying to spray it down, but it's not going to work out for him. And he is a man that we normally praise for being able to hit those kind of shots. But this time, pressure was just a little bit too much.
Yeah, pressure was on. He didn't have any teammates and helping him out trying to do that. Makes sense. I mean, it's odds are that at this point there wouldn't be anyone crossing anyway, so they took a high ground position, tried to scout further forward, and just had a guy there in case, in case he got those shots done. And also it's good for info that they know that now they have a team out behind them somewhere.
Now Riddle's Don Tizzy, he's only just making his way across now, swimming as it be. He's got a long way to go still before he gets himself inside that circle. While Northern Lights and Seacorp are still just playing around with each other in the blue. No one wants to commit to this, and Zen is just waiting on the other side of that bridge saying, come on, boys. Come down here. We want to hit some shots now, please.
They will take what's going to be left at whatever happens just up there north of the water. Dancy in the water, as you said yourself, issue being that once you're out there, you cannot heal yourself. And he's in the blue as well, so hopefully for him, he will be on land real soon, so he can get back up some health and start that run on down towards the military island. Inside games, though, as we see right here, trying to make that run on through Arsenal, though, might just be in a position to take him out. Now it's going to be 3D Max from behind, trying to do some damage.
Desperately trying to avoid those shots. Ostrolovac starts to fire back onto him, trying to push 3D Max away. Oh, this could be a nice lineup. There you go. This is what Perfectus is waiting for to do the damage. He needs to find Barlos now, though. He needs to be able to pick this player up. He's taking heavy damage himself. He's going to go in for the kill, just because he needs to ensure that they get some sort of points. They had a rough start in this, but Seacorp get eliminated. Perfectix on low health does manage to save the day, but will he die out to the circle?
He Might just be able to get that bandage off, followed by first aid. Very needed. They will be able to pick up some damage, some meds there too. It seems like Vasco and Slugdonov actually made their push further on inside. So even though it cost them 2 players, I mean, might have just been the best outcome they could get themselves 3 points and kills, and they will be able to get on over as well. Vasco though, seems like though, still sitting on the bridge, but now it's Gamer Legion. Haven't made their way inside the base itself alongside Not Fair. The only 2 teams that actually came here early, they're now right next to each other.
Sunday, he'd been holding the fort for so long for his team. He's going to be the first one down. It's actually 3D Max that come in with the third party to it. Makes their lives a little bit more difficult. Good nade coming out from Ostrolovac. Couldn't get the damage done. The new circle has popped and gone a little bit further south this time. Still covering a bit of military base, but more the open ending airfield, which is not where you ideally want to be fighting. We saw a bit of action in that yesterday.
Say a little bit further south, that's pretty much as hard shifted as can be. We can barely even see the bottom side of it, and it's gonna go miles out into the open. You have the compound far down south, but that's gonna be all you're gonna get for cover if you ain't in the forest already. It's gonna be interesting though, because we saw these plain areas trying to be utilized yesterday, but once you have people on all sides of them, they really won't grant you the cover that you need. But here we come, the Motor Mice from Mars trying to make that run on into the circle, and seems like they'll be able to get something going. You don't know that show?
Biker Mice from...
That's the name, yeah. In Danish, it's Motor Moves. Ah, god damn it, I was so close too.
I was like, did he just really butcher a classic?
Biker Mice from Mars, that's the name. Same, different name, you know?
You could have been smarter and said Biker Mice from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, that is a good one,
there
too.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But it didn't work out too well for them, because they got sprayed down like crazy. Still got players up, but they're in a position where they're still pinned down by both 3D Max and 7.
Look at this Ghost Legion trying to make a full-on push on inside, but not fast, saying, well, that ain't gonna happen. You can push 1 by 1 as much as you want, but we will stop you in doing so. YMD, you gotta make a move. That nade is right on your feet, and should be just moments away from going down. One more person comes in, though. That's gonna be Ghost Legion. Down and out. Fenerbahce now as well going up against Gamer Legion, as these fights only continue to get more and more chaotic.
Fenerbahce completely pinned down there. It's going to be a rough ride for them to try and get out. It's BSD trying to find his way. Stella, they've taken casualties as well. This is where the action begins. This is the chaos that starts to go on when we do see a military circle come into play.
And this is the main issue right now. Just look at this. Inside games completely caught between all these players. Did get down the knock on Tsunuki, though. Let's see if he can be able to spot some. Oh, spots 1 around the corner. No, that's his teammate. What's going on? Does get the opponent down as well, but Pixel just ran into the line of sight, and out goes Inside Games. That is so unfortunate. Wow, that is not what you want to have happen there. You can't even blame him. He was spraying down the guy, and then comes his teammate. Okay, join in on this one, and unfortunately just goes in front of him right there.
3D Max, we said how they do end up loving these military base circles. It might not work out from this time around, though.
Base 4 is coming close and on in. We'll see if Jamboy can connect this one right here. Thrown in a good direction. Nogi and Phantom both go down, trying to get that res on up, but in phase 4, you cannot res in the blue. Simply does too much damage to you.
Yeah, we're at the stage where that damage is not something you want to be taking anytime soon. Jamboy's going to take it for a little bit longer and continue to push in, but he's got to be oh so cautious. He knows there's players on the other side of it, and it is Wago just waiting for them to come across.
Perfect example right there. So close to the circle, but yet so far nothing you can do. 60 will go down and out. Not a whole lot more to it.
Zokanam still within it. Oh. Thing is, it's the risk of like, do I push out and potentially get shot, or do I just go out to the circle? It's this trade-off of like, do I give points away, or do I just wait it out there? And you saw he ended up getting picked off anyway because he was seen throughout the circle regardless. But the circle now sits us up still in military base. We've got a lot of open area here. Zokanam and Gamer Legion right close to each other. Not fair, are going to have to move out a bit. Tornado still got a lot of that eastern side of the circle to themselves. But now more teams are going to try and push their way in. It's 7 who's going to have to move out of the compound. And this is going to be the problem for them. There'll be a lot of focus on them.
And there's not a whole lot to play for either. Everything south of the road, you see completely split right there on your map, just in the corner. There's not a whole lot to take right there. You have a dip, you have a few trees, but that's it. And for the majority of these teams, they came in with boats, which means they don't have vehicles available. And the ones that do, they've probably already lost them or gotten them exploded in the military base. Now Vietnam, though, pushing on up towards Gamer Legion as 3D Max Wago, doing everything he can to stay alive. As I say that, though, he's taking shots and taking towards him as well.
Can't afford to take any circle damage. He's down 23 health. Getting right close to him, but he will just be able to pull this off. What a skin of his teeth, but he needs to get running.
Gotta make some sort of cover for yourself. Smokes, nades, everything will be thrown out for people to try and stay alive for at least a little while longer. Now we do see Moleman taking his vehicle right there. Jambaway trying to hold the angle. Knows that there was a player behind. Jambaway though now down to low HP. Waggle continues to deliver shots. Trying to see if he can take down some of these stellar players before his inevitable death.
Oh, it's the baiting out time. Someone's going to have to move first. Wago's holding strong on it. He just wants to stay involved.
He's committing to this one. Does not want to go inside the circle just yet, but he might just have to make that run in the open in just a second. Exactly gets it off. Jambaway now trying to make that run off. That vehicle is down to real low HP. Oh, jumps out just in time as well. Moleman has already been taken down. Now Jambaway is all by himself on the edge of the circle.
Wago is living on the edge just by the last seconds, pulling off the med kits in the first days, but it's not going to hold him on.
Page crawling up on the wing right there, trying to get himself some better vision over towards Gamer Legion. Gamer Legion, the team right now sitting in 9th place. They for sure want some kills and a good placement in this one. But with just 26 players alive, we haven't even made it into placement points yet.
Very little cover. Gamer Legion is trying to hold on to, as the rest of the Zoka and Nam teams are starting to fire up into him. Tornado are being pushed here, and it's a full team of personal coverage trying to make it work, but can they hold on? Finally, 3D Max go down. It's not going to work out for him this time in military. Hashtag Warriors finally finishing off Wago there. And there are many little fights going on across the whole map because everyone is starting to have to move out of their positions. They can't hold on for too much longer. Melman and Comp at Trash, how are they going to deal with this? They can hear what's going on below them, but they've only got a limited time to deal with it. And their teammate in X team, he's far away. He can't come into this because as soon as he steps out of the open, he's going to be shot at.
Circle goes once again a little further north out into the landing strip on military base itself, and there's only going to be less cover because of it. You do have one silo sitting up there that you can just huck your way inside, but with so many teams up and around here, believe me, they'll all be trying to fight for the same exact spot. I actually like the way the Personal Courage are playing this, despite the fact they're fourth. They don't know how many people they're up against, and they want to play this smart. They want to play it safe. Don't push it. I mean, they have to come down at some point, and we will try and hold them off until then. Keep your 4 guys alive, and then wait for your wait till they have to push. No reason to go overextend on this one.
That was nicely done by Arsenali there. The otherwise couldn't move. He got pinned down, the nade came out, and that's another kill up for Oshtec Warriors. They're still within this, and they eliminate the team of 7 Esports, along with Bjorn managing to chime in to finish off Francario. X-Team's managed to pick out Stella though, so now we're at top 6, and this is quickly turned around as Personal Courage trying to barrel out of this and find themselves a little bit more cover to play with. That's actually not a bad spot to try and play from.
Not at all. They send 2 guys over. They keep 2 guys behind to hold off Tornado Energy once they do leave. But actually, look at this. Millman managed to get out, and there's no info coming from Hickey or Buzzword, and now they're getting completely caught off guard, and he sprays down both of them. Complete miscommunication and lack of awareness from Hickey and Buzzword that they allow for Millman to get out and get the position on them. Gets himself a third. Will he get the 4th as well? It's one more player alive. Misses some shots, but there you go. One more should do it, and wow! 4 kills for Mellman in that one.
An entire squad from 2 different directions firing at him, and Melman gets it done. He doesn't care that they're second place right now. He says, we're still delivering the pain. We're not going to be holding back any punches. We are going to show our stuff. Tornado are on fire once again, and they're one of the few remaining teams alongside Oshtec Warriors with 4 players left alive. Now, Not Fair are starting to try and push on into this. Nades are coming out, and it is going to maybe work out for them here as Rip does get comp trash, but Camper is still able to deliver something here. Melman looking to do God's work once again as Rip's working his way around, gets the drop on him, does manage to get him knocked, but he's taken some further damage. The rest of Tornado trying to give that cover fire.
Wow. Personal Courage did everything completely textbook until the point they didn't notice Millman running out of that building. Wow, is that unfortunate, that's for sure.
This position from Not Fair, they've taken control of it now. X-Team and Kamka, the only players left alive for Tornado. They were in such a good spot, and then it all fell apart. Not Fair were ready for it. The third party and the split didn't work out.
Arsenal, just the broken wall. It's all you get for cover. Oh, does he spot out Eggy there? The nade comes in return. Oh, just get back down behind the wall. Eggy, though, that nade's right on the money.
He thought he had a chance. He was like, I seen him. I'm going to go for the shots. Oh, no, that's a grenade. And he took some damage at the same time as Vazku will finish him off. So can Nam. Could this be their time to bring themselves back up into it, get that little confidence boost straight off the back of game 1?
Look at who's sitting on the top of this, right? You got Not Fair, they're in the mix still. You got Ozcheck on the south side, they have a chance as well, but it's X team. No, it's Tornado Energy, and it's Sucked It Down. We talked about these guys. They're in the top already, and they're making it so much harder for all these guys that aren't in there just yet to get themselves some points needed in these 4 games today. They have a bike, only 1 wheel on it though. Not what you want to start driving, because it ain't gonna go fast enough for you to get into safety, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not going to help you out too well now. You may as well abandon it and try and push forward and hope no one's going to be looking out for you. But when it gets to this stage, everyone will be looking to light you up.
And Oshik has been using nades and smokes for cover for the last 4 circles. I mean, they could not have a whole lot left. 1 more smoke to be used for Raid, and he already goes down. Gluten, he full push with him and rip up towards Sucked It Down. Page, he's ready for it, though, and down they go immediately. 1 guy went down, but they should be able to get the rest on up. And Gluten and Rip. They tried some more, but in the end, Sucked It Down was too much for them to handle.
They handled that oh so well. Gluteny's just crawling his way around saying, "You're just going to finish me off here? Because there's not really much point in me sitting here any longer, lads. Come on. Put me out my misery."
Ozcheck trying to do some damage here. They know that the full focus is on the last player of Not Fair. So Outlaw wanted to see if he can get himself a knock off of it, but not going to be possible. And look at BCGG out on the crate there. Sure, the level 3 gear is good, but you're in the blue in just a second, and that ain't going to grant you a lot of cover. Down he goes as well.
Zokenan up on the 10 kills. They're back in charge, and they want to take another game. It's them versus Tornado. First versus second. Who's going to be able to get this done? Zokenan certainly have the advantage, at least in numbers, but that doesn't always necessarily mean you're going to be able to take the win. The thing is, they've got this plane to hide behind, and there's so much cover for them to try and work different angles to play from here. This is going to be so difficult for Tornado, who just have the car.
They're both on each their edge of the circle. Who will get the benefit of the next one? That could very much determine the winner of the first game here today. Circle pops, and it's gonna not even benefit any of them. Both of them have vehicles. Both of them have vehicles that are busted. So, well, they're both going to be moving out on foot now. Both teams, that is. And, well, it's going to be hard for both teams, that's for sure. But it's going to be Sucked It Down forced to make that run first.
I like this, though, right? Because that circle's pretty fair. It's not too bad at all. We get to see them try and both run out of this. But they're also going to be down to this aim game. Who's going to be able to pull off maybe a mighty headshot? And more damage comes out towards X Team. And they're just going to have to med up as much as possible here.
And X Team don't have a lot of bullets left. We saw 20 spares on X Team, and we saw 15 spares on Camca. Now we see Page maybe trying to get the attention over towards him. Just 15 spare bullets. Does make the run out on to the Rockets. Jumps out. Oh my god, that's a headshot though coming in from Camca. Just 2v2 now.
He thought he made it. He thought he had a chance, but instead he gets picked apart. Vascu jumping out into the open as well. Not looking good. They're both even on kills at the moment as well.
This is going to be interesting. Vasco and Aki, they have to make the run from here real soon. They have a Dasha. I'm not sure if it still has 4 wheels up or not. You see him trying to make the run on up now. Aki, a lot of damage being done. Look at the tanking from the blue. You have to start running, and you have to run real fast too. Damage being done towards him. 1 more shot should do it. Can't seem to connect it though.
Vascu's working his way around as well. Wow. Pulls off the headshot. Delivers it onto Camca. Now we're in a little 1v1. Vascu's got to be able to run in. He's still inside the circle. It's him versus X Team. This is a true 1v1 between Titans of Group B. X Team, is he going to be aware?
Versus Car98.
Ooh, good damage from X Team. He does manage to reply. Zen, they get to finish off Camca. They want the extra kill. The first aid's going to be popped. X Team now will be aware of his position. Going to barrel out an aid towards him. Will it reach? Another first aid kit coming in. Vascu gets keyed by the nade. What a play. Vascu pops up, looks, and wasn't fully aware of the nade was going to come out towards him. Does end it. Tornado ending with 12 kills and 10